Hello, 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 beautiful people of the internet. And welcome back to the Chloe and Leo Show. I'm your co-host, the eternally peckish Chloe.
And I'm Leo, the guy who is currently dreaming about lunch, even though I just had breakfast.
Leo, it's 10 a.m., but I get it. We're doing a food episode today, and I'm already distracted. We're diving into a cuisine that I could literally write a 500-page love letter to. But Leo, tell them why today's topic might actually ruin our lives.
Thanks, Chloe. Because today we are diving headfirst into the world of washoku. That's a term for traditional Japanese cuisine. And here's the kicker. It's a cuisine that is so disciplined, so seasonally obsessed, and so umami-packed that once you understand the why behind it, going back to a sad, soggy sandwich at your desk feels like a betrayal of the culinary gods.
Exactly. It's like the food version of watching a movie in IMAX 3D and then trying to go back to your cracked iPhone 6 screen. You just can't. So Leo, you're the professional know-it-all here. Sorry, profound scholar. What is the big fancy deal about washoku? I just know it tastes good. Why is it UNESCO level important?
Thank you for that generous introduction. Well, Chloe, it's not just fancy. In 2013, UNESCO added washoku to its list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. And they didn't do that just because they like a good California roll. It's a whole social practice. It's about the four seasons, the beauty of the plate, and the spiritual connection to nature.
Wait, hold on. Spiritual connection? I thought we were talking about rice balls and raw fish. Are you telling me my snack of choice is actually a Zen Buddhist experience?
Kind of. Think of it like this. Japanese cuisine is built around a concept called the 5 principles. You have the 5 tastes, the 5 colors, the 5 cooking methods. The number 5 is like the universe's cheat code for Japanese chefs. It's not just about being full. It's about harmony. It's the food version of Marie Kondo visiting your stomach.
Does that mean if I eat a burger in Japan, my stomach needs to be perfectly organized and spark joy?
You joke, but even their burgers have a sense of order. But seriously, to understand washoku, you have to understand the MVP of Japanese ingredients, dashi.
Dashi? Yes, I see that on menus all the time. Is that the broth that tastes like the ocean gave you a warm, comforting hug?
That's a surprisingly accurate description, Chloe. I'm impressed. And it brings me to my favorite word in the English language. Well, technically it's Japanese, umami.
Umami. The 5th taste. I always thought it was just a marketing word they put on expensive potato chip bags to charge me an extra $1. Now with savory umami flavor. What does it actually mean?
It's a real scientific thing. It was identified by a Japanese chemist named Kikunai Ikeda way back in 1908. It's that rich, savory, meaty flavor that isn't sweet, sour, salty, or bitter. It makes your mouth water in a specific, deep way. And the soul of umami in Japan comes from dashi.
So dashi is just soup stock, right? I put a bouillon cube in water and call it a day.
Chloe, please don't ever say that near a Japanese chef, or you might give them a heart attack. Dashi is an art form. The most common type is made from just 2 simple ingredients. Kombu, that's dried kelp, and katsuobushi, which are dried bonito fish flakes.
Flakes? Like the fish equivalent of dandruff?
It's exactly like the fish equivalent of dandruff, if dandruff were delicious and packed with naturally occurring glutamates that create a symphony of savory goodness. And here's the crazy part. Because the flavors are so delicate, the extraction is a ritual. You soak the kombu in cold water, slowly bring it up to heat, and right before it boils, bam, you pull the kombu out. You don't want it to boil or it gets bitter and slimy.
Okay, that's some fine dining precision right there. I respect the hustle. So what's the end result? A bowl of hot seawater that tastes good?
It's the foundation of almost everything. Miso soup, dashi. The dipping sauce for tempura? Dashi. The broth for udon? Dashi. It's the silent bass line to the rock concert that is Japanese food. And that's why Japan has the most Michelin-starred restaurants in the world, more than Paris and New York combined. It's this insane attention to the invisible details.
Okay, my brain is officially hungry. Let's stop talking about seaweed water and start talking about the stuff people actually take Instagram photos of. Let's talk sushi. All right, Leo, confess. How many of those gross, pre-made grocery store California rolls have you eaten in your car, standing in the parking lot?
I plead the fifth, Your Honor. But let's be clear. The stuff we see in the West is a beautiful, distant cousin of real, traditional sushi. The history of sushi is actually hilarious because it started as, well, basically rotten fish.
Ew, Leo, you're not helping.
No, seriously, the original form was called narezushi. People would pack fish in fermented rice and leave it for months, sometimes a year, and then throw away the rice and just eat the funky, preserved fish. It was the ancient Japanese version of a pickled herring. It wasn't until the 19th century in Edo that someone had the brilliant idea, what if we eat the rice fresh with the fish fresh?
Thank goodness for the 19th century. I don't want a year-old fish burrito. So that's when we got nigiri? The little pillow of rice with the fish on top?
Exactly. It was fast food. You'd go to a street stall, and the chef would slap a piece of fresh fish on some vinegared rice, and you'd pop it in your mouth and run. It was the original drive-thru.
But now, sushi has this reputation for being super expensive and snobby. Like, you have to whisper when you order. How did we go from standing on the street to sitting in a room where the chef yells at you if you use too much soy sauce?
That's the evolution of edome sushi. After World War II, sushi moved indoors and became more of a sit-down, chef-driven experience. And this brings us to the word that strikes fear into the heart of every tourist with a tight budget. Omakase.
A-K-A-C. What does it mean? Prepare to empty your wallet?
It literally means, I leave it up to you. You're trusting the chef to give you the best seasonal fish available. It's like going to a jazz club and letting the saxophonist just play, man. And this is where the story really gets good, because of the tuna.
Oh, we're doing the tuna story? I love the tuna story.
Back in the day, maguro was considered garbage fish. Fishermen would bury it or feed it to cats.
To cats, Leo. I paid $45 for 2 pieces of toro last month. Those cats are living better than I am.
I know. It's because tastes changed with refrigeration and the love of fatty, melt-in-your-mouth texture. And now, there's this annual event in January at the Toyosu Fish Market where they auction off the first giant bluefin tuna of the year for absolutely insane amounts of money. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for one fish.
Imagine being the guy who buys a $1.3 million fish. Do you even eat it? Or do you just put it on a velvet pillow and apologize to it before you slice it?
You definitely eat it, but you probably don't slather it in wasabi. Which, by the way, is a great segue into sushi etiquette 101. Chloe, how do you eat a piece of nigiri?
I pick it up, I drench the rice side in soy sauce until it's a brown sponge, and then I try to shove the whole thing in my mouth before it collapses all over my shirt. I'm a disaster. Leo, fix me.
Okay, listen up, viewers. Rule number 1, dip the fish, not the rice. You pick up the piece, turn it sideways like a tiny, delicious airplane, and gently kiss the fish into the soy sauce. If you dip the rice, it acts like a sponge, absorbs all the salt, and then crumbles into 1,000 tiny pieces. It's a crime scene on your plate.
Fish kisses. Got it. What about my hands? Can I use my grubby little fingers or do I have to use chopsticks?
Both are totally acceptable for nigiri. But if you're at a fancy omakase place, The chef will often hand you the piece directly. You eat it immediately. Do not take a bite, put the other half down, and chat for 5 minutes. That's like telling the chef, yeah, nice painting, Picasso, but I'm just gonna hang half of it in the bathroom.
Okay, so I'm a polite fish-kissing one-bite ninja. I can do that, but I feel like I need a palate cleanser after all that raw fish talk. Let's get into something steamy and hot. Let's talk about ramen versus udon. The battle of the century. Okay, this is the Sophie's choice of my life. On a cold, rainy Sunday when you just want to become one with the couch, what are you ordering? A giant bowl of ramen or a steaming bowl of udon?
Ah, the eternal question of the salaryman at 2 a.m. in Tokyo. This is like asking a parent to pick their favorite child. They have completely different vibes.
Let's start with ramen, the rock star. The one with the 1,000-year-old boiled egg that looks like it's been marinating in a witch's cauldron.
The Ajitama, yes. Ramen is an international superstar now, but it's a relatively modern Chinese-Japanese fusion. The name comes from the Chinese Ramen. What makes ramen unique is the combination of wheat noodles made with alkaline water called kansui that gives them that bounce and yellow color, and the deep, complex broth.
And the broth options are insane, right? This is where I get overwhelmed. You've got shio, shoyu, miso, tonkatsu. It's like ordering coffee at one of those places with 30 different syrups.
Exactly. You have the big four. Shio, which is the oldest style, light and clear. Shoyu, which is brown and tangy. Miso, which is thick, nutty, and hearty, perfect for Hokkaido winters. And then, my personal guilty pleasure, tonkotsu.
Tonkatsu, the creamy white pork bone broth. It looks like liquid velvet.
It basically is. They boil pork bones for hours, sometimes days, until the marrow and collagen dissolve into the water. It creates this unctuous, cloudy, milky broth that coats your throat. It's the opposite of a light summer soup. It's a winter parka for your insides.
I love that. A parka for my insides. Okay, but what if I don't want a winter parka? What if I want something that feels like a warm, clean, cotton towel fresh out of the dryer? That's udon, right?
That is precisely udon. If ramen is the wild party animal, udon is the chill, wise Zen master. These are thick, chewy wheat noodles that are incredibly simple. The magic of udon is in the texture. That bounciness is everything.
And the broth. It's so much lighter. You can actually see through it.
Because it's just pure dashi, maybe with a splash of soy sauce and mirin. It's clean, it's savory, and it doesn't try to knock you over the head with flavor. It's about the subtle art of shibui. And the regional differences are wild. In Kagawa Prefecture, they have Sanuki udon, which is famously firm and chewy. You almost have to wrestle it with your teeth. In Mie Prefecture, they have Ise udon, which is incredibly soft and covered in a thick, sweet, dark soy sauce.
Wait, soft noodles? That sounds like baby food. No disrespect to the Mie Prefecture babies.
It's a completely different experience. It's comfort food for the soul. And you know what the best part about udon is? The sound.
The sound? Leo, are you going to tell me to listen to my noodles?
Absolutely. In Japan, it's considered polite to slurp your noodles. Ramen, udon, soba. It cools the hot noodles as they enter your mouth and actually aerates the broth, enhancing the flavor. But beyond that, a nice suzu sound is a sign that you're enjoying your meal. It's a sonic compliment to the chef.
So all those years of my mom yelling at me for making disgusting spaghetti noises were actually me just being culturally Japanese? Vindication. I feel seen.
See? We're learning and healing generational trauma here on the Chloe and Leo show.
Speaking of trauma, let's talk about the tools that give me anxiety in a nice restaurant. Chopsticks. I'm okay at using them, but I'm always terrified I'm about to commit a huge cultural faux pas. Leo, what is the one thing I should absolutely never do with chopsticks in Japan?
There are a few big ones, but the absolute cardinal sin is sticking your chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice.
Oh, I've heard this one. Why? Is it just because it looks like a tiny flagpole?
It's much darker than that. It's called tate bashi. It's how a bowl of rice is offered to the dead at a funeral. The chopsticks sticking straight up represent incense sticks. If you do that in a restaurant, you are essentially reminding everyone of death and mourning. It's the equivalent of walking into a birthday party and screaming, "You're all going to die one day."
Okay, note to self. No rice flagpoles of death. I will lay them down horizontally across the bowl or on the little rest thingy. Got it.
Yes, use the hashioki. And there's another big one. Never pass food from your chopsticks to someone else's chopsticks.
Wait, what? Really? In Western culture, that's like, oh, hey, let me share this piece of sushi with you, babe. It's romantic.
It's called watashi bashi. And in Japan, it's exactly how they pass the cremated bones of the deceased during a funeral ceremony. It's incredibly taboo and considered very bad luck.
Wow. So basically, chopsticks have all these secret rules that are just traps for foreigners to accidentally summon a ghost or start a funeral procession in the middle of a sushi bar? This is why I have trust issues with wood.
It's not a trap. It's just a different vocabulary of respect. When in doubt, just ask for a fork if you're really struggling. No one will judge you more for using a fork than they will for accidentally pretending to cremate your date.
This is solid life advice. All right, we've talked about the food, the ritual, the noodles. But Leo, I have one more crucial question. How did this food, this very specific, seasonal, etiquette-heavy cuisine take over the entire world?
This is the part that really gets me excited, Chloe, because it's a story of cultural power. When UNESCO listed washoku in 2013, there were about 55,000 Japanese restaurants outside of Japan. You know how many there are now? Nearly 200,000. That's a tenfold increase in about a decade.
That's bananas. Or should I say, that's mochi? Sorry, bad food pun, but why? What made the world go from, ew, raw fish, to, I need a reservation at Nobu and a 5-minute YouTube tutorial on how to fold a towel into a penguin?
Couple reasons. First, health. Japanese cuisine, with its focus on fresh fish, fermented soy, seaweed, and green tea, is one of the healthiest diets on the planet. It's the reason Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world. As people globally became more health conscious, washoku fit perfectly into that narrative.
True. You rarely see a sumo wrestler eating just a garden salad, but the average Japanese grandma, she's a spry, 5-year-old umami machine.
Second, Michelin. The fact that Tokyo has more Michelin stars than any other city just cemented the idea that this is haute cuisine. It's not just casual street food, it's high art you can eat. And third, the immersion. People don't just want to eat sushi. They want to understand omakase. They want to try real soba noodles served on a bamboo mat. They want to hear the hiss of the hibachi grill.
It's like a mini vacation for the mouth. I love that. And I'm glad the world has embraced it. But I hope people are learning the right things and not just doing sake bombs and putting cream cheese in everything.
There's a place for fusion, but the heart of washoku remains the same. It's about respecting the ingredient. There's a Japanese phrase, shun. It means the peak season of an ingredient. A true washoku chef would never serve you a sad, flavorless tomato in December. They wait until that tomato is at its absolute, juicy, sun-ripened shun. That's the philosophy. Patience and respect.
Patience and respect. And slurping. I feel like I've unlocked a new level of human consciousness today, or at least a new level of hunger. Leo, Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are now desperately searching for the nearest ramen shop?
Just one. Next time you sit down to a Japanese meal, whether it's a $5 convenience store onigiri or a $200 omakase, take a moment to look at it, see the colors, smell the dashi, feel the texture, and remember that you're not just eating, you're participating in thousands of years of tradition, a love letter to the ocean and the seasons, and a philosophy that believes food should nourish not just the body, but the soul.
Wow, Leo, that was actually really beautiful. I was going to make a joke about burping, but you just killed the vibe in the best possible way.
I try my best.
All right, friends, that is our show for today. We hope you enjoyed this journey through the wonderland of washoku. If you learned something new, smash that like button. And leave a comment below. Are you Team Ramen or Team Udon? Also, tell us your biggest chopstick disaster story we promise not to judge.
I will definitely judge a little.
Leo, you said we don't judge. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next episode. And remember, don't stick your chopsticks straight up unless you're trying to summon a ghost. Bye!